Scott and Tessa, hello.
Hi.
Great
Pleasure.
to see you.
We always love doing
it's
it.
so nice.
Well, you're very kind. First of all, I was at both the short skate and the long program. You two were truly remarkable. I mean, I'm not saying anything that's any news to anybody around the world who was watching this. Absolutely remarkable. How did you feel about your skates?
Yeah, it was a special moment, I think, in our career. I mean, on such a big stage, there's a lot of pressure that goes into it, and I think for us to be able to perform the way we have been able to perform on the Olympic stage so well, it was really special and thrilling, and that's the moment that we've been dreaming of. And it might not have been the medal that we were dreaming of, but the moment is more important.
Well, you won gold in Vancouver. You talk about the pressure. I mean, this has been 4 years building. Is it like a pin has pricked a balloon right now? Do you actually feel liberated that this is over with, or in terms of your role in these Olympics, or do you still feel the pressure now?
No, there's a great sense of relief. You know, we've talked a lot about the tension, and we knew it was risky over the last few years. It's a challenge, and it's hard to come back and defend a title. It's hard to step up to the plate and attack a program when you're feeling like you have something to lose. So we wanted to stay in the moment, and I'm thrilled with how we approached that at this competition. I think it's reassuring, and it is liberating to know that we accomplished our goal here in the sense of the moment we wanted to have and the skates that we wanted to have.
What's the risky part? You say we knew it was risky. What was risky?
I think coming back to defend a title is a completely different beast than going in as 22 and 20-year-olds to a home games, and you know, it was more of a sense of lightning in a bottle in Vancouver. We always envisioned that we would be on top of that podium, but not a lot of people did. And this time, coming in for the last 4 years, we've been the favorite. We're defending Olympic champions, and it's hard to get on top, but it's even harder to stay on top. And we felt those pressures, but that's the reason why we stayed in, and we love that.
The short skate was magical. And like, it sounds like hyperbole, me saying that, but it was, and people saw that. You guys, we see you talking to each other sometimes, like right before you skate.
I talk so much before skating.
What were you saying to each other, or what's something important that you said to each other before that short skate, before this big skate at the Olympics that you've been waiting to be back at?
Well, the big message that we always say to each other is, do what we do every day. We train really hard, and we've been through every scenario, so we're ready. And we need to just stay loose. And we rely so much on connection with each other on the ice. So, you know, we use those cues. You know, be with me, be together, and let's enjoy it. It's the same. It's very similar to Vancouver, as when we took the ice, we said to each other, we deserve this, and we're just going to go out and take in the moment. And we wanted to make sure we did that here as well.
Tessa, do you remember something important that you said to each other?
What did you say before we went there?
Yeah, well...
What do you say when you can't stop talking?
Well, we have our 5-minute warm-up, and then we go off the ice, and we had a significant break between warm-up and our actual event, so we take our skates off, walk around a little bit, and we talk through our program and think about the specific cues and keywords that we want to use throughout. And as we get on, you know, right before our names are announced, I was just kind of rambling, I think, talking about what an opportunity we have and the team behind us, all the hard work we've done, and kind of reassuring one another. I felt great when Scott looked at me before the short dance and said, you know, no matter what, we're together, and no matter what, I love you, and no matter what, you know, we're going to enjoy this. And that was reassuring.
She gets very sentimental before we skate. She just went on and
Probably
on.
you pray on that.
Yeah, it's just like,
So-
yep, sure, yeah, you got it, exactly. See you out there.
No matter what, we've got each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I've said it. So that was a weird night, though, because there was this magical skate, and then you didn't get the highest score of the night. And I'm curious how aware you were. I mean, you guys obviously have your ideas of what you should have got or what you shouldn't have got, but how aware you were of the world, or at least folks in Canada, reacting the way they did. Did you know?
No, we weren't aware of any of what was happening on Twitter or we knew that some people came forward and didn't really agree with the marks, but one part of the process is us just focusing on what we do, but kind of after, because we skated earlier, then there was a whole other warm-up group after, and we were kind of sitting there in the back just like, okay, let's see how this is going to play out. We kind of saw, I don't know if the writing on the wall in the team event, we were a lot of points behind,
yeah, that was a shock.
and I wasn't necessarily ready for that, and then we didn't know what to expect for the individual.
What does the writing on the wall mean?
Well,
Like, what did you notice?
sometimes you just don't understand where you're going to... I mean, perception can be so off. It can be so wrong of yourself. Your self-perception can just throw you for a loop, especially with all the pressures. You doubt yourself so much, and we really try and be there for each other to keep it positive. But in an Olympic year, you go through everything in your head 1,000 times, and you just don't know where you're going to be. And, I expected us to be higher than we were.
There was this little jig you did, Scott, after the
I got
shorts game.
moves.
I mean, that was real, right? I mean, that wasn't part of the...
No,
the
yeah.
You knew you had a great skate.
Yeah.
You guys both knew that. It seems like on the ice, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a momentum. Like if the first minute or two goes well, it carries you forward with more confidence. Is that true?
Absolutely. And having said that, one of our other goals was to not let ourselves get distracted if it didn't go extremely well within that first minute or two. It's easy to look back on Vancouver and romanticize and think that it was perfect. And think that we weren't nervous and we just stepped on and we knew we were going to win and everything was flawless. And really, it wasn't. They weren't our best skates ever. They were magical and special in their own way, but we needed to remind ourselves of that because this week we weren't searching for perfection. We were going to kind of go with the flow, be free of mind, and trust our bodies to take control.
There's all kinds of weird circumstances around this. I mean, for outsiders, especially who might just be learning that you train together at the same place as Davis and White, who are the Americans who just won the gold medal. You have the same coach. You've obviously reconciled to having the same coach, but what has the most difficult part of that been, especially in the lead up to the Olympics?
Well, I think we had a competition versus when we were against the Americans in December, and when we came up kind of on the short end of that stick, we had some doubts, and we didn't know where it was coming from, and luckily we have good open communication with our coach, so we went directly to Marina, and we let her have it a little bit, and we didn't understand the results, and we weren't very happy, and she was great with us. She understood, and that's a big story that our coaches, that we have the same coach, and maybe we should have made a coaching change, but we can't even imagine what it'd be like without Marina. I mean, she's been there for us the whole way. She pours her heart and soul into our skating, and she truly loves us. So for us, there was never any doubt. But as I said, there's so much that goes through your head in an Olympic season with all the pressures, and that was there a little bit, but it was pretty quick-lived.
What's the most difficult part been for you, Tessa? Like, it's clear that you were the favorites along with Davis and White, and you're training together in Michigan, and you have the same coach. I mean, what was for you the most difficult part of that in the lead-up?
I think the difficult thing was not getting caught up in that and not getting caught up in the rivalry. I mean, really, we had to do our own job, and we're not directly competing against them, and we're not trying to beat them at their own game. And when the focus is there, it's not on our own skating and on our connection and things that would be our strengths. And I think trying not to get wrapped up in that craziness was difficult, especially when we see them every single day. But we have immense respect for what they do, and sitting in second is a little bit easier when we see how hard they work.
How about keeping the focus going into the long program, going into the second night, knowing how you felt about the first night, knowing you were in second place? What's the trick? What's the voodoo technique that Tessa and Scott used to stay focused?
Stick to the game plan. That we knew we needed to have pretty much an unbelievable performance if we were going to, take that gold medal spot. And we also know that Maryland and Charlie don't usually give up elements. They usually have very consistent skates. So our goal stayed the same, and we know that from all of our experience and competing at these high levels for years, and we needed to just focus on our job and have our moment. Nothing changes, you know. You can't get distracted with that outside noise, and for us, the judges are that. We just need to forget about the scores and think about our performances.
You said you came here wanting to win gold. People are so proud of you. Silver's huge. You know what you did on the ice was incredible. Can you be 100% proud of that? Can you allow yourself that?
Absolutely. You know, I mentioned last night thinking about Jen Heil when she finished her run in Vancouver, and you know, she said so well that she won the silver, she didn't lose the gold, and I truly feel that. You know, if you had told us in the fall that we would end up second, I don't think we wouldn't have accepted that, or we wouldn't have expected to be happy. But with the performances we had, we can't be anything but content, and that's really satisfying.
Tell me about these Olympics. You Tessa, at one point in an interview, you've said that the Olympics are, what did you say exactly? You said there's nothing better than the Olympic Games. And it's weird because the last time you guys won the gold medal, you were the youngest ice dance couple in history to win the gold medal. Now you're sort of the grizzly veterans, right?
That happens quick.
You're like, oh, it's them, the ones we know.
Yeah.
What has the experience been like for you, kind of coming in as the known commodity, as the veterans, and in a way as the role models of some of the other skaters this time?
Oh, we love that position on our team. Being the grizzly veterans, you know, for 26 and 24, we're young in the Olympic family, but for skaters, we're definitely the seniors, and it's been great to. Hopefully, I mean, we've tried to really be there for our teammates, and we have a really tight skating team, and I think that helps us. And not only for the team event where we compete together, but also just to have the support. At the games, you live together, and you have to be a family. You have to get along and want the best for everybody. And you know, that's a role that we really embraced, and that makes the game special, in my opinion.
Tessa?
Yeah, I mean, having said that, we also feel like rookies. It was interesting coming in here because we know what to expect in an Olympics. We know the scope of it a little bit more than we, understood in Vancouver, and yet we didn't want to live the same experience we had in Vancouver, and we were conscious to not compare and not try to repeat that. We wanted to make a new moment, and we're 4 years older and more mature, and I think... Well, hopefully.
You probably.
I think we're in a better place to really appreciate this chance.
Let me ask you about appreciating before I let you go, because you are still young. You both insinuated that these would be your last games. You seem like you're at the pinnacle of what you do in terms of the remarkable performances again here at these Olympics. Has that changed your thinking at all about the future? Have you guys started talking about Korea?
Yeah, we need to kind of sit down and have a conversation. I mean, we need space from the games. I think I would be trying to make the Olympic teams as a 60-year-old man if I made the decision right after the games, because you want another one. I mean, this is such a special experience, and to be a part of the Canadian Olympic team, I think, is addictive. And you want to go to as many games as you can, but it's a long road, and there's a big world out there, so we need to see what's next.
We sat in a kiss and cry for a little while after our free dance last night and looked at each other and had a really nice moment in realizing that if that is our last performance, it's a really nice way to go out.
It's a pleasure. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all ours.
See you back in the homeland.
Yeah.
Can't wait.